very clearly what we heard. And he goes on to talk about NYPD officers, Con Edison workers. We're talking about Silverstein wanting to blow it up. In February of 2002, Silverstein Properties won $861 million from industrial risk insurers to rebuild on the site of WTC-7. Silverstein Properties' estimated investment in the WTC was $386 million. The building collapse alone resulted in a payout of $500 million on that one building, based on the contention that it was an unforeseen accident. And then we have the report saying a controlled demolition would have minimized the damage caused by the building's imminent collapse, is what Shapiro said, and potentially save lives. Many law enforcement and firefighters and other journalists were aware of the possible option. This was no secret. Yet now they're not denying it was all over the news. I mean, they denied what was on the news for years. This was no conspiracy, writes Shapiro. Well, because the cops weren't involved, they had to give them a story. Oh, we're going to wire that up, kind of like you make a hamburger. It takes 5 minutes, or a ham sandwich. However, obviously aware of how it would impact his insurance claims, Silverstein has consistently denied that there was ever a plan to intentionally demolish Building 7. And the insurance companies don't, they're owned by the big banks that are involved in all this. They go along. They get big bailouts. In June of 2005, Silverstein told New York Post journalist Sam Smith that his famous pull it comment, which has been cited as proof of Silverstein's plan to take down the building with explosives, meant something else. In January 2006, Silverstein spokesman Dara McQuillan told the U.S. Senate Department that the pull it comment meant to withdraw firefighters from the building, despite the fact that there were no firefighters inside Building 7, as we shall cover later. There was no mention whatsoever of any plan to demolish the building before it fell. Shapiro's foxpaw was unwittingly let the cat out of the bag on the fact that Silverstein was aggressively pushing for the building to be intentionally demolished, a claim that he has always vociferously denied, presumably to safeguard against putting in doubt the massive insurance payout he received on the basis of the collapse was accidental. And, of course, then every engineer or demolition expert would say, how did you wire a burning building in a few minutes and do it so perfectly? For over 5 years since the infamous PBS documentary was aired, in which Silverstein states that the decision was made to pull the building, a construction term for controlled demolition, debunkers have attempted to perform all kinds of mental gymnastics and fudging the meaning behind the WTC leaseholder comments. I remember getting a call from the fire department commander. This is a quote. We're going to play it in a moment, the video, telling me that they were not sure that they were going to be able to contain the fire. And I said, we've had such a terrible loss of life, maybe the smartest thing to do is just pull it. And we made that decision to pull it, and we watched the building collapse. That's plain English. We made the decision to pull it and watched it collapse. Debunkers attempted to claim that Silverstein meant to pull the firefighters from the building due to the danger of the structure was in, and the explanation was also later claimed by Silverstein's spokesman. However, both FEMA report and the New York Times, even Popular Mechanics, reported that there were no firefighters' actions taken inside Building 7. Let's go ahead and play Silverstein now. Let's go ahead and play the audio and video of the text I just read to you. Here it is.
World Trade Center 7 had always been considered the starting point for rebuilding. Located north of the slurry wall, 7 had been cleared faster than the rest of the site, and there had been no bodies to recover. Pelted by debris when the North Tower collapsed.
Not true.
7 burned until late afternoon, allowing occupants to evacuate to safety.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such a terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.
Now, what does pull it mean? In the encyclopedia, in demolition dictionaries, it means to pull it with explosives or cables, but to bring a building down in a controlled fashion. Now, on that same PBS documentary, they then cut to, a month later, demolishing Building 6 and using the exact same term, pull it, in the same documentary, as if it isn't clear enough what that means. The makers of the film sure knew, because this is the next clip in the film. Here it is.
By mid-December, the Department of Design and Construction had leveled World Trade Center buildings 4 and 5.
Hello? Oh, we're getting ready to pull Building 6.
We have to be very careful how we demolish Building 6. we were worried about the building 6 coming down and then damaging the slurry wall, so we wanted that particular building to fall within a certain area.
There's a certain excitement in the air of bringing the last structure down at the World Trade Center.
Okay, so over and over again, they're talking about controlled demolition using the term pull it. But they said, you didn't hear that on the news. That's been in newspapers. I'm a liar. And I go, but here's the CNN clip. Here's the Fox clip. Here's the local CBS clip. Here's the local Democracy Now! Clip, when she just had a local show. You know, we went and interviewed the police and said, well, what did you hear? There was a countdown. They said they were going to blow it up. They said, get back. And they said, you crazy conspiracy theorist, that's not what those cops meant. And firefighters on tape from the other towers going, there was molten metal. Jet fuel couldn't do that. It was like a foundry. It was like lava. Something's going on. You know, jet fuel doesn't do this. Those fires are almost out. We have the firefighter tapes they didn't release for 2 years where they're going. The fires are almost out. People are in buildings waving. Suddenly, those columns shatter. The buildings are turned into ash, into powder, blown from top down. Building 7 blown from the bottom. Classical controlled demolition. Now, let's go ahead and play clip 3. This is one of many from CNN and other channels where the police are saying, get back, get back. They're going to bring it down. They're going to blow it up. So Fox News says the building silently fell. Well, we have clip after clip. In fact, I want Watson, who's listening now. There's even better clips off the radio and TV. And there's, let's add to the video the clip of the head of Democracy Now!, Amy Goodman, with the cops saying, get back, and she starts running and you hear the blast. Let's add all that to it. We have time later in the last hour. I'll play that. Now, last Friday, Willie Nelson was on with Larry King, and he said, well, I questioned 9/11 because Building 7 wasn't hit by a plane and fell. And King goes, no, they were all hit by planes. Just end of story. No. It was hit by a plane. No, it wasn't. They admit it wasn't. Now, let's play another clip here. This is BBC reporting Building 7 collapse 20-plus minutes before it fell. And then for 2 weeks, BBC denied this was real video and said that we were faking it. Then years later, they said, no, Reuters gave it to us. It's true. And for that 2-year period, they said they lost their archive tapes and that we were liars. And then, oh, wait, it is Jane Graham. It is our reporter. And, oh, it was on another BBC channel, and it was on CNN. So they put the story out it had fallen of natural causes on its own, in its own footprint, and right behind her through the window is Building 7. Here it is.
Yeah, okay, we're going to break for a minute. When we come back, we'll show that.
Yeah, hello, are you still there?
Yeah, we've got a phone call. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, go ahead. Do I put it on hold or what?
Hi.
What do I do?
Just hang up.
Just hang up. You're dead.
There you go. You there?
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, love the show, watch all the time. I just wanted to, that was a good clip that you just showed, and it's crazy how people just don't look at stuff like this and just either be in awe or I mean, it's crazy how it's really just an insult to our intelligence, how they deny, all this stuff after they bring it out, or they, it would say it was a coincidence that, thousands and thousands and thousands of video cameras just happen to, not be going, or, just happen to be not working or changing the tapes at the exact same time, or all this stuff. But it's pretty crazy. The one thing that really gets me is I know it's a show about 9/11, but I'd like to just make one comment about 7/7, if that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So they.
I'm sitting here just listening to you. Go ahead.
I think that it was an Alex Jones documentary, but I'm not sure if it was. It had him in it. They mentioned that a group of mathematicians, statistical engineers, if you will, had a supercomputer and calculated the odds that it was a coincidence that they were doing drills at the exact same time on the exact same day at the exact same stations, that the exact same thing happened at those exact same times at the exact same day at the exact same stations. And they calculated that the odds of that happening, that the odds of that being a coincidence, are 1 in. Now get your notebook out so you can write this, just so you can look at the number, because it's this crazy. It's 1 in, and the number is a 1 with 41 zeros after it. Now, to put that into perspective,
Wasn't that
they
a
also
Google?
they also said this. To put that in perspective,